Oh yes, TNA. We are going to talk about TNA.
Well, we'll get to Impact right now.
Yes, this is the Dark Match for this week. I'm Christopher Says Dark Match is Mastodon of the Monotone with me.
I am your RXW intern, Make It Fighter Free.
I'm Magpie, and that's all that needs to be said.
And I'm the Lone Warrior. And today we're going to be doing What is Karma Tweeting Now? Me, of course. I've been waiting my whole life to play with myself. This is in response to a question posed by the WWE WWE Twitter. I'm good at speaking. Which downloadable character are you most excited about? But I should not have explained the context.
No. Maybe you could have done it in the other order, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, that pretty much just spells out one thing: Karma is being featured in a video game.
A good video game.
After she debuts.
Oh yeah.
Not 1 year after she's hinted at, and while being inactive, we know about this fact. So she was in TNA. She was in quite a few good matches, but
admittedly she's DLC. But hey, what you gonna do?
It's better than Gail Kim, who's gonna beat NOA or NI.
No, don't. It's not gonna happen.
No,
I
wouldn't judge Gail Kim from the match tonight, but
I'll get into it when I get to it. But it's just one of those. It's a TNA syndrome. But Chris, start us off.
We recap with James Storm's 3-minute match, where Kurt Angle brings him to the corner, like menaces him for about like a minute and a half, maybe a little bit more. James Storm super kicks him, rolls him up, wins the title.
And when they were recapping that, too, it made it sound more, like, special than it actually was, which is, again, true TNA fashion. But it was one of those, if there was a longer match, like, say, a 15-minute match, and then at the end of it, that was the finish, and then he was like, oh, well, it only just took that couple of seconds. It could have been a worn-out match or anything like that, but it took that couple of seconds. That promo would have meant so much more in that recapping.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like the idea that he's like, it's my dream, and, like, my dad died at 12. Like, I wanted to like, live up to like the loss, and now and he'll punch whoever wakes him up. So
yeah, and then once again they referenced WrestleMania 3. They referenced it last week. They referenced it this week. It's just like, why?
Oh yeah, this is after Storm comes out. He talks about watching Andre versus Hogan when he was a kid.
It's the second time they reference it. Why? It's not going to help you. It's not like the Hulk Lantern ring.
Well, yeah, it's like Hogan putting the old Winged Eagle belt in the Hogan's Main Event advertisement.
That was just stupid and funny.
Oh my god! Did you guys see the Giant Bomb video? Like, I guess Let's Play of that. Like that video.
I don't even want to fathom like the horribleness in that video game. I mean, I'm just imagining. But let's get on with the show.
It's pretty bad.
So, Storm also came out to new music, which that's never a good sign when you've got somebody who's part of a tag team coming out to brand spanking new music.
I mean, they will turn against each other at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
But it seems like Beer Money's dissolution was really just kind of swept on the rug. They're just like, oh, we're gonna split them apart a little. They won't really reference it too much. They'll still refer to themselves as a unit, but we'll give them new music.
Yeah, and the smart booker would do that, like, i.e. the American Wolves, but this is TNA, that's not gonna happen. And we know that's not gonna happen. Tune in for next week's Dark Match for more on that, but on with this show.
Yes. The rest of Fortune pretty much comes around. They start congratulating him, saying Angle's nonetheless screwed Rude, and he's like, just give him that match. And just as the Beer Money are shaking hands, Joe comes back out. He puts himself over as a member of Fortune. Sorry for interrupting.
Joe comes out and he basically says that he congratulates Storm for winning, which is pretty cool of him. And then he points out that he's pretty much doing the same kind of thing that any heel stable would do. He's keeping the title matches in the family so that they've always got the belt, and it's not fair, and that he deserves a shot.
And this would be really, really a really good segment if that played out in a world where that would have been an awesome match to look forward to, and Joe had been humiliated enough by these months and months and months and months and months and months of crap we had to see him just get degraded.
Yeah, but he's just like, hey,
also,
association.
Also, Joe's really fat. I mean, he's fat.
You took the words out of my mouth.
He's fat.
He's becoming
it's really noticeable now.
Thank you, No Leaf Steiner.
But yeah,
it's just like if you would have, they just did. And then the thing is, like when he's in the prime, he's like, "I'm one of the most dominant team." You were, Joe. You used to be, and it was amazing to watch Joe dominate something. And again, if this match was happening under different circumstances, where Joe was still awesome and just killed everybody in TNA, if he didn't win, just kicked your ass. And if he would have came out there, did the exact same thing that he did and challenged, this would have been awesome. But
but
then he got kidnapped by ninjas.
He's being aggressive, and then he's jobbing.
Yes, it's like you got the idea. That's Joe. That's something Joe would do. And then he loses? No, Joe wouldn't do that.
And then he gets really pissed about that. Very pissed. He gets even more aggressive after he loses.
Those ninjas took his awesomeness. God damn it.
I honestly believe that, dude, because something took away the magic of Samoa Joe. And I want to say it was some supernatural force instead of an evil company that doesn't know what to do with talent that they saw it.
But
in any event, Storm basically tells Joe what we've just said, that he's been losing to Crimson, he doesn't deserve it, and he asks Joe what makes him think he can jump to the front of the line. And Joe points out that Rude already fucked up his chance, and that cues Sting.
Sting comes out, and he announces himself as the new authority figure, yet Eric Bischoff's still there. And wasn't he the authority? What the hell's going on with this? Someone explain this to me.
Basically, also Sting has the authority figure. Now he doesn't have his makeup anymore. He's no more Joker Sting. The Joker Sting's work here is done.
In other words, Nolan sent him a letter that strongly worded him to stop.
Yeah.
Steve Bortonitis.
Or they're just like, fuck, we're kind of backed in a corner. Why does Sting need to act like this anymore?
Okay, we'll just wait till the Dark Knight Rises come out, and then we'll rip that guy off. Where's Rob Terry? He'll be Bane.
Yeah.
It could happen.
No, he's too busy being a Big O knockoff, so...
We'll get to that.
But Sting comes out and says he's the one who's going to decide what's going to happen, and he makes the main event of Bobby Roode versus Joe to determine the number one contender. And the question on everyone's mind should be, what did Joe do to deserve a number one contendership chance?
He did it the Anderson way. He just kept on. He won title match.
And if this was Sick Joe, I would not be complaining right now and saying that's stupid. If this was Awesome Samoa Joe, I'd be like, oh, Joe's demanding a match because he's pissed off. This is great. I'm gonna see Robert Roode get put in like 3 different submissions in the course of one match. But God, I sound like a broken record, but it just always comes down to that.
Yeah, and of course, Taz today are just hyping up how this is the right thing to do. And
give the losers at the end of the line number one contenders match.
And keep in mind though, no one puts over the fact that Joe was a world champion at one point, like that as a positive for him going into this. Like, hey, maybe he can win. He was a world champion.
I mean, this may fit with the character, but why the fuck doesn't Sting want to go for the title now? Why isn't that important to him?
He's also lost the world main event pay-per-view against Kurt Angle.
I mean, it's not like I want to see like the old people dominate. It's not like but like still, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, Sting's too busy being a Laurinaitis ripoff. But
well, not
they also
announced
for tonight, Bully Ray versus Jeff Hardy and Gail Kim versus Tara.
Oh yeah, so I want to talk about
Jeff Hardy's return to the ring is on a random TV show. Go fucking figure.
Yeah, they didn't hype it in any way. They just played like regret promos that didn't really lead to anything. That didn't hint at anything. That just said I had a bad time in life and I made horrible decisions.
I've said it before, Chris. We were on that episode. We were just talking about like when he came back. We were on the episode. I think we were both on that episode, if not the episode before that, when Jeff Hardy had just come back. And I pretty much just laid my case out why everything TNA or Jeff Hardy says in that regard when he's in that company about his recovery or things like that and being put in the spotlight is suspect, because I don't believe it's genuine at all. Still comes off that way. I hope Hardy's doing good. I do not wish that guy bad, but
well, fuck, it's a wrestling. He's forced to say all this shit.
He can't reach the kind of lows his brother Matt has come to, but
I want to talk about this next segment. Daniels is now lying out his ass that he never said I quit to Styles at Bound for Glory. He's like, oh, you know that audio version of Photoshop, that's what they used. He's like, this is not Rob Van Dam, and I'm facing.
You think that was an inside joke? That
Daniels,
was just an audio voice chopped on to make it look like they were cheering, even though they weren't. And
well, no, not even. It's supposed to be like John Cena's recent win, and of course Mick Foley. I mean, The Rock's win over Mick Foley.
Yeah, but like the difference is that like Mick Foley was unconscious when that happened.
Yeah, that was a legitimate like scramble kind of. Oh, we have to do this.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, AJ's got the mic or Daniels had the mic up to his mouth going, I quit. You could see him doing
running
it.
with the urine coming down
I like
his
to
leg.
give Christopher Daniels the benefit of the doubt and saying that was just a really subtle inside joke. Maybe that was just me who saw it, but I thought that was like a good shot at like the audience corrupting.
He's being incredibly over the top as a heel. Like
of course.
I don't like Eric Young, except Daniels isn't supposed to be like Eric Young. Like,
I can see him as a delusional heel or so much of a megalomaniac, like the Eric Cartman syndrome. Like, he's so much of a Eric Cartman that he honestly doesn't believe he loses. I can see him playing that heel, but I see your point too.
But nonetheless, we have our Daniels versus Van Dam match.
Oh, yes, Bob Van Dam.
Not really much to say about this.
I can't say I hated it. I mean, this was one of those matches where I was like, when Rob Van Dam was first announced, like maybe he might go into TNA. This was one of the first matches I was like, oh, I want to see that match. That's going to be sick. And this was before Rob Van Dam performed, and it totally just broke my heart. But
I think Rob
Van
Dam did a good spinning heel kick. I thought that was all right.
The match was like 5 minutes long, which means it was half as long as the amount of wrestling we had last week.
Yes,
it's cool that they're varying opponents, though. So they're like, okay, who hasn't had a match together in a while? Singles match. RVD, Christopher Daniels, go. That's cool in the sense of booking because there's a diversity and you see fresh opponents. And also, it's not a bad match being RVD versus Christopher Daniels, but
just short.
And during the match,
and kind of slow just a bit, but that's more on Van Dam's part. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jess. Go right ahead.
During the match, AJ comes out and joins commentaries, and Daniels, he gets controlled pretty quickly. He misses the best moonsault ever, which is a pretty cool name for a moonsault. And
yeah, don't you just love it how wrestlers who miss their high flying finish always land on their feet?
Yeah, and
usually
RVD, goes on the counterattack, and Daniels gets the heck out of the ring. And AJ makes a comment that that's normal for Daniels, which is kind of weird because it's normal for most wrestlers.
And especially when wait, if he's hinting that Daniels is being cowardly, it's like that's not normal because back in TNA's golden days, he used to kick your ass unafraid.
Boo! What? I beat him.
No, I actually like that aspect of his gimmick that he's just like, I beat that. I won that match. Just remember, guys, I won that match.
I beat him.
But the match basically ends when Daniels goes for a toolbox under the ring and whacks RVD with it, and then pulls out a screwdriver.
That's weird. I didn't see
his MVP.
I didn't see that in an X Division match between Brian Kendrick and Homicide for the X Division title. Wasn't the same thing.
I'm gonna ignore that.
Sonic though.
Nonetheless, yeah, the screwdriver was under the outside mat, and I don't know. He's using that's become his trademark weapon, and I don't really care.
It's his Janus.
I mean, yeah, screwdrivers hurt, but they're not that
machete.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Mega Fighter. If there's one thing good about it, it's that it's not something like Janus. It's not a fucking
It's not a 2x4 with nails in it. It's not a machete. It's a screwdriver, which makes sense for it to have around the ring.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's again, this is way more practical than Janus, but It's more practical than a Janice or Joe's meat cleaver, but it's still one of those. It's stupid. It's a screwdriver. Just kick his ass or get some other weapon. Like a shovel would be more intimidating.
And Daniels goes for the screwdriver, and AJ chases him off into the crowd. And Daniels just runs like his ass is on fire.
No, yeah, that's another aspect of this gimmick that they're playing up.
Guys, I hate to be a crushing blow of reality, but you do know one of them is getting stabbed with a screwdriver before this gimmick ends, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, probably. Hopefully, it'll probably.
It'd be nice to see someone else get stabbed with a screwdriver, but I won't say who.
It's not going to matter, and I'm going to die a little on the inside.
Speaking of people who need to have pain inflicted on them, Karen Jarrett seen backstage with Madison Rayne and Gail Kim heading towards the ring.
Somebody give me a tranquilizer.
Blah 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 blah. That's the. I don't know. Like I'm quite uncomfortable talking about this. I mean, we should have expected it to happen, like, since Gail Kim kind of like made her statement, which nonetheless I certainly agree with some of the reasons why she did, but it pretty much got her to go up to John Laurinaitis, ask for a release, sit at home like while her no compete ran out, and go to TNA, and be a heel upon her debut, which I thought was a huge fucking misstep.
Yeah. So Karen comes out, and the commentary is about as the usual. TNA's all, we'll never have an unbiased we'll never have somebody who's not unbiased as control of the knockouts because of how Karen's acting. And Taz thinks that it's great that Gail's back, and that Karen's been handling things really, really well. So clearly Taz is out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah,
but
Taz is,
we've already stated that numerous times and brought up.
Yeah, but it's just becoming more and more evident.
No, well, pretty much, I've worked it out. When people from the WWE join TNA, they become Tommy knockers. They don't realize that they left a probably better lot, but fuck, we don't know why. Like, to be serious, like, we really don't know, like, why they made the decision. Like,
so they become aliens that worship green slime, glowing green slime.
Well, yeah, if you want to use one example. I mean, maybe I could also say the TNA has a shining about it. Or maybe there's an Indian burial ground under that guts.
Oh, please, if there's a shining about that, at least we could watch an episode where AJ snaps and just finally axes people.
No, guys, let's be fair, we don't want to be sued. It's shinning.
Yes.
Oh,
but,
well, then we can be sued by the Simpsons, you nut. We'll just stick with one company. But nonetheless, Gail Kim starts her promo.
And it's the standard.
I'll embellish. I know where Justin's heading with this. It's the standard promo. It's that promo. To steal one of Red Letter Media's bits. You know, that promo we've always seen every time somebody who didn't get used right in WWE head over to TNA. And for the record, TNA did when they had Gail Kim booked her way better, and this is of course talking after she was done being the valet of America's Most Wanted. When she was her own individual wrestler, fucking amazing and awesome, great champion. I love her. Still love almost all the matches she's been in TNA. So she legitimately has the argument of saying that she was used better in TNA at that time than she was at WWE when she came back. Paid, yes, horribly, but she was used better. Now when she comes back to TNA though, even if you have a legitimate gripe and you're saying all that shit in the ring, it's still TNA, so you're just devouring who you are as a wrestler, and you should know that.
I will say, if there's one thing that's towards the good side of this promo, it's that she references, like, emails and tweets asking her why, and she pretty much, like, speaks to, like, the fact that we're complaining. I like the fact that they're at least using Twitter as a social media better, even though they're also using it in the same vein as the WWE, where they just have the commentators plug like certain tweets about things and a little bit pandery and a little bit segmenty,
but they don't do it out loud. They just have it on the screen. But on the same coin with that promo, You had Gail calling Karen Jarrett the one person who had my best interests in mind.
Yeah,
No,
Karen
Gail.
Jarrett was like, yeah.
No,
if she had her
Gail,
best
that was
interest in
Scott
mind, she'd point
D'Amore.
you somewhere else.
Yeah, that was Scott D'Amore who had your best interests in mind, Gail. And he's gone.
Miss you, Scott.
Yeah, why don't you just go to Border Championship Wrestling?
Or at least go, not to plug Shimmer shamelessly, but I love that company.
Yeah, why
have
don't
a
you fucking
dream
go
match
to
with
Shimmer?
one or two or far the
Shimmer,
girls
go
there.
to Mexico or something.
Probably too big an asking price. I mean, yeah, she probably could go to Mexico also.
That would be awesome too.
She could go to like any other place in another country that would pay her a good amount of money, but
Well, except
And this
maybe
is-
Japan.
And
But
this
anyway,
is what this is one of my arguments though. The next match that happened after this was a great match, and I never questioned
over
Gail's-
Tara?
I liked it.
You thought it was good?
Knockouts, it was.
I thought it was a good match. I mean, not as good as other Gail Kim matches, and I would have preferred it in ring attire, but it still was
I think she's rusty. Like
a little, but it was still a good. Like I didn't hate it, but my
It
point
could.
being though is like I never questioned Gail Kim's work rate. But she could have gone to all those. If she really was cared about wrestling, she could have gone to like any other promotion that supported wrestling. It might have not been the biggest, but it was an awesome wrestling promotion.
We're probably confounding things. In terms of the rest of the promo, Karen basically says that her goal is to get the title off of Velvet, and she's going to do that at Turning Point by booking a match with Gail Kim. She's going to get it off of prostitute Velvet, in her words. And it's
And
like
again, TNA thing. We get a WWE talent. We got to immediately give our homegrown talent who has the belt to that. I mean, no one suspects Velvet Sky to retain after this pay-per-view. Anybody?
I think she might.
Let's face it,
I wouldn't be.
There's a 1% chance, and that's all I'm
surprised if
giving.
Gail Kim comes in and then she just
loses.
I think it's
Yeah, it's
possible.
not going to happen. Let's face it,
No.
that's why they took it off Winter and
I mean,
put it on Development
but,
because
Unless she was like, "Where's the next piece of fresh meat to
feed to Lupin.
and Tara comes up.
Right, and that's another. It's like she's just getting that handed to her. It's not like she's going back for the sake of wrestling. If she was going back for the sake of wrestling, she would have gone to any other promotion that highlighted wrestling or was about the matches. She's just going there because it's going to give her easy pay right away. She's going to get straight to prominence right away, and it's just like she's not really in it for like, okay, I want to help the homegrown talent. I mean, if she probably is, and I don't know her, so I can't call her out for ingenious reasons, but it comes off that way because of present company.
But yeah. Like I said about this match, I thought it was a good pairing, and I think like in another few months they'll have like much better matches. But I didn't like it. I thought like Gail's a little rusty. It's funny because like we were reading over coverages and like they say the same thing, but that's what I thought. I thought she was a little slow. I thought she balked a little like during her whips. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't. I'm not saying she was ecstatically perfect. I'm just saying, like, this is me, didn't piss me off, and I thought it was, like, a good match. Good, at least, Not as amazing as other Gail Kim matches.
It was an above-average knockouts match. Take that how you will.
Yeah,
Because
okay, but
Well, yeah, we've covered this instead of piece.
Yeah.
Gail Kim wins. Madison and Karen are harpies, and Tracy Brooks raises her hand reluctantly. Let's move on. Please.
Yes, I like that. That submission Gail locked on. Not sure if that was an octopus.
Oh, that was a good submission. That was.
But nonetheless, like for eat defeat, also known as Soul Food when done by Chuck Taylor, also known as Eat Defeat when done by Cole Cabana. I don't think Tara sold it as she kind of kept it down like a few notches.
They could have just finished the match like having like Gail Kim lock that in there and just choke her out, because that would have been a cool fucking submission and an awesome new finisher and a good statement about I'm back and I got new things. I got new things.
I think it's a lot more like, I mean, I'm sure she could make the finisher look good, but like Eat Defeat seems a bit more like a kind of quirky thing that a face would have.
Yeah, it is more. I mean, I don't really particularly like that move in general. Like, even if Gail does it, I don't like that move that much. Like, I would have, again, preferred that submission.
You want to have, like, someone really make a point, give him a submission, but nonetheless.
If anything, Gail Kim could do a better backbreaker, the double knees.
But yeah, after this match, we got backstage, and to Jeff Hardy, who was talking about how it's official, and he's back. He's back now, and he's going to be having his in-ring debut against Bully Ray. And it's been a while since he's wrestled anyone, but he's ready. And then we immediately, for some reason, cut to Flair and Bischoff talking.
Oh yeah,
about tough love before they go to commercial.
Yes, that
I don't remember much about
transitions quite smoothly into Robbie E's match with Eric Young for the TNA Television Championship, a title that's been defended like to death with in-ring people. Not discrediting like the comedy of Eric Young going against Scott Baio and confusing D'Lo with CeeLo, but fuck it.
I have to say, for credit of booking, this is not a bad idea. But imagine if Robbie E came in his first day in TNA, if we travel back in time, his first day in TNA, and he went after the television title instead of the X Division title, would have made a whole lot more sense.
Someone compared Rob Terry quite hilariously to someone else. I forgot who.
I've compared him many times
Big O.
to Big O.
Oh yeah, he's the Big O. Yeah, except he as much as I shit on the Big O, I don't really like the Big O. I think he has much more charisma than Rob Terry.
Yeah, without anything that makes the Big O work.
Rob Terry is still has and will always be the big muscle man.
And for character, just because I don't want to see Robbie E in the ring, but for just being you have to be there, our focal point, bodyguard, okay, he can do that. Just stand there and look big.
Yeah, so Young comes out, and he's got the TV belt, and he's also still got the old TNA Championship belt.
And if he can get the tag titles and the Knockouts title, he can form battle armor. He's still working on it.
Yeah, but the question is still, why are they letting him? It kind of tells you how much they don't care about the old belt if they're still letting Young have it and wear it as a joke. But it's a pretty quick match. It's an Eric Young
match. He's basically Zack Ryder last year, except he's not jobbing. He does a belly to belly. He tries a pile driver, but unfortunately Robbie E stops that. Crucifix rolls him up. 1, 2, 3.
I gotta say, Eric Young, the way he dressed and looked, Eric Young just does not give a fuck anymore, and I love it.
That's weird of his.
I love it.
He looks like a psycho Robin Williams.
And it's awesome. He's just
short Robin Williams.
He shows up to work every day. I'm gonna show up looking like Robin Williams. I'm gonna do the most outlandish shit to make your program look stupid, and I don't care. I'm gonna make it work. God damn it!
It's and more to the point, TNA doesn't seem to care, because otherwise they'd be telling him, "Hey, knock that off." I think they've more or less gone, do whatever you want to him. But as soon as the match is over, Rob Terry gets in the ring, and he basically holds Eric Young while Robbie E kicks the crap out of him. And as they're leaving, Young grabs a mic and says, he criticizes them for attacking him, and then he says that since Rob Terry got involved, he's going to bring in his own backup, and he's bringing in the Jersey Shore's Ronnie. And they're going to be fist pumping in Georgia. And fuck. They still haven't learned, have they?
Nope.
First of all, Macon, Georgia? Does Georgia even care about the Jersey Shore at all?
I mean, it's a fucking popular show.
I doubt it,
pretty
just because it's Macon,
viewers.
Georgia, but I don't see somebody of that county caring really much about the Jersey Shore. I mean, somebody from where I'm from, Sandy, would care, but that part of the world, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean,
it's pumping.
Who the fuck knows? I'd much rather talk about the weird, random, kind of half-in-shadow, contemplative Eric Bischoff.
Oh, I thought you were explaining the show we were reviewing.
It happened. Eric Bischoff is somewhere talking to himself, pissed off.
Yeah, he's heading out to the ring, so that's never good. But they go to break, and when they come back, Daniels is on the phone trying to get himself a title match after having beaten RVD and AJ.
Doing the old Bob Newhart thing. Kazarian comes around and he's like, let the whole fucking thing between you and AJ go.
Come to my house in California, by the way.
So many other times.
Yeah,
just let it go.
Let it go. And by the way, did my wife fuck Eric Bischoff?
I don't know. Well, let's talk about your house in California. Did anyone hear him say that?
No.
No, but
Oh.
it's just great that they're still hyping up this Daniels has gone has clearly lost his frickin' marbles at this point with the whole, oh yeah, you know, I beat RVD and I beat AJ, I'm awesome. Give me a title match. But after this, they cut right to Bully Ray talking about how, you know, Jeff must have pissed in Sting's cornflakes or something to set him up as to set Bully Ray up as his first opponent back, and how, you know, he never respected Jeff even though they've made history all over the world, and he says rehab's for quitters. And what?
Actually, when you sorry to stomp you there, Jess, but when you think about it, Jeff Hardy did piss in Sting's cereal. Victory Road, remember?
Oh crap! Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So, you know, actually, that does kind of make sense.
Yeah. Oh my God!
My God, TNA used subtlety.
Logical sense on TNA.
Wow. Good for. I'm smiling.
Quick, look outside. See if the Four Horsemen are running around.
TNA, you get a gold star.
Oh, just for it.
I haven't seen any horsemen, but there's a pink elephant right there and a dude in a Hawaiian shirt.
That's normal. But they then cut, because, you know, they haven't done enough backstage crap. They cut to Garrett. They cut to Bischoff Jr.
Garrett, yeah.
Talking about the events leading up to last Thursday's explosion between him and his father between the explosion last week and what happened at Bound for Glory.
Oh yeah,
Is his name Derek or Garrett?
Hold on, it's Garrett.
Garrett with a G.
Bischoff Jr.
But if I could ask you, just have you reiterate something. Is this the promo between Bischoff and Bischoff Seaman, or the product of Bischoff Seaman?
I
coming
think
up.
so.
As awkward as
Oh, wait.
to be.
Oh, not yet, but...
Thank you for reminding me of that, by the way. So, Eric, the uncool one, comes out to the ring, and he basically tells the fans to shut up, and says that he's got important personal business to tend to. And, you know, the first question is, why are they doing this in the ring, if that's the case?
Yeah, he says it's embarrassing or something. It's like, then why do it in the ring?
His family performs
I
even
know
if
it's wrestling, but still.
I'll show you how to parent in the ring, damn it. Everybody watch how good of a parent I am.
The only one who's allowed to say anything about beating their children is Terry Funk. Because it scared everyone when he said something. Actually, no, it was kind of weird. I don't know if it scared people, but it was unsettling in a different way. Back to Eric. That's just stupid.
So, Garrett comes down to the ring, and Bischoff Sr. says that, you know, Bischoff Jr. embarrassed him by punching him in the face last week, and he tells him to listen to his father and not the fans, because the fans, they don't know anything, and the future's in front of them, and that he didn't waste perfectly good genetic material on someone who he would need the most.
Yeah,
I thought my relationship with my dad sucked, but wow.
No, it's like... The fact that we need to hear that from Eric Bischoff just sickens me. Like, you didn't need to know that, Eric.
And couldn't this, like, all have been, like even if he was like, let's benefit of the doubt, it's not a bad thing to do, and we're buying into the fact that this is just a story, so we can't judge it that way, but this all could have, like, taken place in, like, a 3-minute backstage segment. You just dilute it down to your simple points. I'm mad at you. You punched me. You're not my son. Blah, blah, blah. Waste of time. Next match. 3
You
minutes.
need to hear about the semen, Eric. You never need to hear about that.
It gets even better, because
yes.
Eric tells his son, basically, you know, he's learned more about the business by accident than most people in the back have learned over the course of their careers. That, you know, he did it because he wanted someone he could count on, but he let him down. And as mad as Eric is, he's not going to punch him. He's going to give his son a chance to apologize, to take the mic and say whatever, to say something. But he basically, as soon as he goes to speak, Eric grabs the mic and goes, "Look, what I'm basically saying is, think about what you're about to do. Is you're either going to apologize to me, or I'm going to kick your ass in the ring later tonight.
Yeah.
They're doing this again later.
That'll put asses in the seats. It's,
Oh, no.
they did subvert us, but they did really fool us by not going with Garrett being a heel. I mean, they might go with that in the future, but
Let's not kid ourselves, guys. This is going to lead to a match between Garrett and the two Bischoffs. It's going to be a match, and it's probably going to be on pay-per-view too.
Yeah. In terms of relatively greener pastures, we go straight from that whole exchange to Flair, who's now concerned about this whole Garrett and Eric Bischoff thing, and he's like, I'm going to teach that kid. I'm going to show him some respect.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that Eric or Flair's the one who's going to be doing this. When you look at how his kids turned out as in wrestling, like look at David Flair, and then shake your head in disappointment.
Yeah.
I love that Janet Tron.
He taught David well.
Don't you ever bring David Flair up in my presence again.
He taught David how to look like he's preparing for a match and kind of sway around in preparation. And you could.
Let's not even discuss WCW crap, but
it never happened.
Indeed.
Yeah, we know the Stacy Keibler is not related to David. We are never mentioning that. Thank you.
Hooray.
Yeah, and Daphne's just Daphne.
So, backstage, this is after the commercial break because, commercials. Flair's basically tells Garrett to call him God and that he should apologize to his dad. That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
A major jackass during the whole thing. I did not.
He's like, you will fight Eric in the ring, but don't be surprised if I come out there. You think you're in Fortune? I'm in Fortune.
No, he's not. He's in the clique.
No, Ric Flair could claim to be in everything. That's his new gimmick. But yeah,
I'm a caterer.
Jeff Jarrett comes on for more subtle shots at Jeff. He doesn't necessarily talk about Jeff. He talks about Kevin Sullivan, but refers to a son of a bitch who no-showed Victory Road in Turning Point in 2006.
Yeah. He mentions the Victory Road incident. He mentions that Jeff says that Jeff didn't show up for the main event at Turning Point 2006, even though he wasn't in the main event for Turning Point 2006, but it doesn't matter. And so he calls for Kevin Sullivan, but here comes Jeff. And Jeff start brawling, and security hits the ring to break them up. And as soon as things are broken, as soon as things calm down, Bully Ray attacks Jeff from behind, and we go into our next match.
We go into our next 3-minute match.
I remember Jeff pulling out a table at some point, so.
That's after the match.
After the match?
So, Hardy's wrestling with Bully Ray. It's a pretty short, not a very good match. Let's just put it like this. Jeff wins with the Swanton Bomb, but he fucks it up.
Oh. Well, he kind of,
it hits him with his back.
Yeah, the way this match was called was kind of fucked up to begin with. It was really just like Bully Ray underestimates Hardy. Hardy doesn't really sell shit. He does whisper in the wind. Ray gets a little offense, then finish.
Yeah, and as soon as the match is over, Jeff goes for an interview with Chrissy Hemme, and Jeff attacks him from behind. Because makes sense, but honestly, it was. Oh wait, there's a bit more. Jeff beats up Jeff. Bully Ray gets a table. They're about to powerbomb him through it, and who comes out to save his ass? Mr. Anderson, because I guess Mr. Anderson forgave him for splitting his head open last year.
No, he wasn't doing anything tonight.
He was more there because he wanted to get back at Bully Ray.
Well, maybe there's an Anderson heel turn in the works. He's already done it once this year.
Once?
Yeah, when he joined Immortal for a until a
I
pay-per-view.
could have sworn he's turned at least twice. He's been turning all year.
At this point, you can flip a coin and guess where.
Basically.
He's a tweener, but not in the very steady, subtle kind of Stone Cold way. Well, subtle. I mean, but nonetheless, he sucks. Yeah. Fuck. Rude has a nice inspirational promo after all this Jeff and Jeff stuff. And Samoa Joe. He could live his own dream if he beats Samoa Joe. He's ready.
So our next match is Samoa Joe versus Bobby Roode for the #1 contenders match. And JB is once again shilling during the introductions.
Oh yeah, that. And this was another.
I like that they stress the importance of the fact that there's a #1 contendership, so I don't mind if they're going to do alright, let's get the fighters up, let's do up closes and announce the rings. That's cool, because this is one of those things of significant importance and should have that intention, so I can't fault it on that ground. But at the same time, though, we know we're not going to get that competitive of a match to earn that type of introduction, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I can give it credit for doing that, but...
Yeah, it's kind
points
of disappointing.
Points for trying.
Yeah, and really, it says a lot when they'll do this for, random impacts, but they can't do it for their pay-per-views.
Yeah, because you think at least, they could do it, you think consistently, if you're thinking like a booker, if I want to do introductions in the main event or a #1 contenders or a really significant match, I would do that a bunch of times on the pay-per-view consistently, but Impact would be sparingly, but it's the other way around and completely illogical.
So the match itself was not good. Joe looked bad.
It's I don't remember what year it was, if it was 07 or 08, but I could be wrong on both years. It might have been 06, but it was one of the things that was going on in Impact was Bobby Roode was treating Tracy Brooks like dirt, and then they had a tag match against Gail Kim and the other. It was Gail Kim and Samoa Joe. That match was way more cooler. And that match was just built upon furthering a plotline that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Don't disagree with any of that. I don't really want to talk about this. It wasn't really much of a match at all. I mean, it ended with a suplex that really hasn't been used as a finish in a long time. Certainly not at all for Rude. Just a Northern Lights.
I think I missed parts of it because I was kind of getting very tired and falling asleep at the time. And plus,
I'm very anticipatory.
I'm sorry to stomp over you, Chris.
But yeah, I'm very anticipatory of the very last segment that happens, and don't worry about that.
But before that, though, it's this is a match I should have really cared about, because if you would have told me #1 contendership 2 years ago, you told me #1 contendership, TNA title, Robert Roode versus Samoa Joe, I've been fuck yeah, I'm tuning in Impact now, and just how much little I care about the wrestlers have been stamped up between then and now. Where now that match is announced and I don't care.
Yeah, and it ain't their fault either.
I really should, because they're awesome talents.
The only thing that would make us tune into Impact these days would be Samoa Joe beats the shit out of Hulk Hogan. There, I'm watching. I have to see
Or
this.
anytime the guns are on. That's for me, though. I agree with your sentiment, though, Mega Fighter.
Yeah.
So, Rude wins. He's celebrating. Storm comes out, and they're like, yeah, no, we're going to be wrestling. And it's... I'm not looking forward to next week. They're going to screw this up somehow.
They always do. Always do.
But we cut to... We're
taking it pretty well.
Yeah, well, the stupid is yet to come. Well,
yeah, we accepted the inevitable, and we don't get angry about it anymore. Hear that? We got a lot of blue armies on.
But we'll cut backstage, and Bischoff is, he's all excited about the fact that he gets to embarrass his son on national TV. But he's cutting this promo about, how excited he is. He's supposed to be talking to someone. The thing is, he's not. There's no one there, and he's not looking at the camera. He's looking off to the side like he's talking to somebody. And when they do a pan, there's no one there. So, what the hell?
Eric Bischoff
Winter's
is
sister, the other ghost. The other ghost.
slowly going senile.
Okay, that makes sense. But they recap. They do a recap of what happened earlier in the night between Bischoff Jr. and Eric, and it reiterate the whole apologize, get your ass kicked.
Taking cues from SmackDown and Raw, who recaps shit that happened before. You get people to they could technically say that, oh, we got ratings for those segments because they were recaps.
Yeah, but Eric comes out and he calls his son out. And he says, one of the great things about family is that you can always put things behind you and move on. He calls out Garrett and he says he's sure that his son will do the right thing. He says, he's made a mistake, but he's a good kid.
I thought worked well as a son and in storyline a lot. Shane McMahon.
Oh, great times.
Yeah.
Great times that was. The suspense,
I see no Shane McMahon here.
Of it. I mean, they were still plugging their family, but at least it was still not insulting.
I see no
And usually the bands were teamed together.
Before swerve became a dirty word.
And he led the WCW during the invasion. Better times. Better times than this.
Until I see Kurt Angle belly-to-belly suplex Garrett Bischoff through some glass, he ain't shit.
Let's not get our hopes up on that happening. Although, knowing TNA, it will.
But those do we need a Bischoff segment as our main segment, our main event segment, or just that's what? That could have taken place easily before the match, and then had the match play it out, and then Rude and them do something like, oh, it's going to be a match, and Rude's number one contender, we're out of time, bye.
And let those young guys have the main event? Hell no, Hogan won't allow it.
What am I thinking? I want to hear a Bischoff talk.
Yeah.
So, Garrett comes out, and Eric, again, does the whole, are you going to apologize or not? And before Garrett can speak, he says that he's got something he wants to say. And he basically says, he got caught up in the emotion, and he knows what it's like to be young and dumb and have his judgment clouded, but he encourages Garrett to do the right thing and apologize. But his son's not saying anything, and Bischoff's getting pissed. And this leads to Garrett finally, he just grabs his dad by the collar, and here comes Flair being belligerent and Flair-like.
So it's Flair.
Yeah.
Only it's not as funny.
Oh. Yeah, he claims to be in every stable there ever was. And Garrett wasn't in any of them.
Exactly.
I was in the Nation of Domination. It was great. Woo!
But Flair says he better apologize right now, and he wants Garrett to apologize and kiss Flair's ass. And the question is, why does Garrett have to kiss Flair's ass?
Because Flair was in the age of the fall?
Because Flair's an old man and he's damn pissed off about it.
Flair's head.
That was good. That was good to make a fighter.
Yeah.
But Garrett tries to walk away from the crazy old man rambling at him, and Flair says he won't screw around like Eric is, and he'll mess him up. And finally, he just decks Flair. And Eric comes up from behind and hits him with a low blow. And then the beatdown begins. And
what plot is this going to further? Where is this going to lead? Is it going to be meaningful? Why are we watching this? How come I can't watch a match? So many questions I could ask. Take it away, guys. Throw in your questions.
Oh, that was good timing.
Why are they
making the last part of the show?
Why are they making Garrett Bischoff an active wrestler? Because that's where this is going.
Why are they making?
I don't want to believe it, but it's going to happen.
Why are they making Garrett Bischoff the thing that hangs off the cliff? Like what? What? Like why would you put that at the end of your show?
Why do we care? Why should we care? It's the guy. Whoopie-doo.
You're right, Bischoff taking candy from a baby. Indeed, we hate that shit.
Why do they think we want to watch old people beating up this dude?
Because fuck you.
No. The worst part, though,
would say.
There was a chant for him. he was getting a chant from the piped-in crowd. And
Yeah,
the plants.
that not their audience really loved him.
Well, you could see the plants, they were up and clapping and cheering and crap, but that was the plants. It was like, oh my god, nobody cares about this. This is a stupid feud.
And it's like you're highlighting this feud. This could have happened like in another part of Impact, not at the main segment, but in another part of Impact. And they could have put emphasis on another feud, like a really good one that they're trying to boil right now between Rude and Storm. They could focus all their time on that, but we're focusing on Bischoff, and we're gonna. If they would have just put it in the beginning of the show or in the middle, I wouldn't have that much of a problem with it. But it takes this much emphasis and time. It's just a silly little feud. Jess is right.
Once again, at this point, the only thing that would get me excited about the company is if I go to the TNA section of the forums and see so-and-so was released. Any of the members of Fortune, anyone who could just go right back to ROH and have much better matches and be booked better, or maybe even to the WWE to like try something on a different stage if they don't like stay in FCW for over a year.
ROH, Shikara, they could go to Japan.
PWG.
Something, anything else.
They could go to No DQ and they'd still do better.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They could work for Shimmer. Well, maybe not Shimmer, but
Some talent, yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing Victoria go to Shimmer.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all.
But that's pretty much it for Impact. I mean, it was better than last week, but to be fair, being punched in the balls would be better than last week.
So,
yeah. Speaking of being punched in the balls, how about next week?
Oh god.
These things they get out on the internet.
Let's not spoil it, because let's let the fans who don't follow the spoilers, have their brief moment of, hey, next week should be a good match. Yeah, but we all know
our fans don't have optimism in TNA. At least I hope they don't.
Our fans are the spoony forms. They know by now what.
Okay, true. So, do we really want to discuss it now, or should we still wait for next?
We'll wait, please.
We'll wait because.
Yeah, I think that's.
We'll watch the train wreck as it happens.
Yeah, and plus we'll hold it off.
Yeah, we'll pound the work off of some other poor schlub on next week's show.
Crap.
Hear that backlash?
Show
You're
up.
stuck with next week.
Crap.
I hate you guys.
Lousy furry.
I will kick your ass!
Bring it on, you adorable looking thing.
Okay.
It's not working out for you, is
Let's shut up. I think but that's pretty much it for Impact. So, let's do.
What gets more screen time than Jay Lethal?
No,
sorry.
Let's be fair. What gets more screen time than the Pope?
Well, the Pope still gets screen time.
He went from
Those commercials don't count.
charismatic, crowd loving him, being in decent enough matches and like good ones to showcase him, to being in absurd gimmicks, to being
a crappy feud with Joe. A crappy.
Gets more screen time than the Pope.
It's like superstars, and I hate to say because I hear good.
Nowadays he's tagging with Devon.
I don't want to see superstars. And what
a crappy quasi feud with Devon, who neither of whom have been on the show lately. So.
Yeah, kind of like Eric Young, who it took basically 3 weeks for him to get on there. 4 weeks actually.
I still want the Eric Young versus Fred Savage television title match. God damn it! And any fan of this show or Magpie, write letters to TNA to match.
He'll be too busy filming his cameo for Austin Powers 4.
What did Fred Savage actually beat Vader in those episodes?
That was the other Savage.
What? But let me tell him. Forget it.
We're getting way too easily distracted. What gets more screen time than the Pope? Go ahead, because I just want to see if anyone's going to do mine.
What got more screen time than the Pope? And Jay Lethal, because I love plugging him. But what gets more screen time than the Pope? That Madison Make It Rain sign that I always see travel around from the Impact Zone all the way to their travel dates.
All right, I'll do an easy one, and one that may not be simple, but one that nonetheless pertinent. Rob Terry gets more screen time than the Pope.
Senior Citizens beating up a cruiserweight gets more screen time than the Pope.
Think hard, guys.
Insane ramblings from a formerly great wrestler get more screen time than the Pope, and you can
Well, that's
figure
Impact.
Yeah, ramblings to who was once a nondescript referee.
Oh, I got one. Jeff Hardy's daughter gets more screen time than the Pope.
Yeah, she's the only well-adjusted person. Well, actually, I hear Beth is a good influence on him, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Not bad mouthing the daughter. I'm just saying more screen time. No, what's that? Oh, let's just end the show. We're too relaxed.
Yeah, I don't know who I am. Maybe
Neither
I'm
do
Chris
I.
says.
You make blue movies.
I might be
Zach
Magpie.
told
Thank you for tuning in this week.
I'm Mega Fire Free, and I still don't have a catchphrase.
And I'm the Lone Warrior. Good night, and
Furries suck.
And you